Cheers to you. How's everybody? I am drinking some water and talk about in the beginning, but I also take live comments. I read each and every one like my guy Star Pack and check in Star Pack. What's going on, Sammy? What's it? Boys? How you doing? And how you feeling? Getting ready for a new week, brother? As I make this video, it's a Sunday, but it'll vary depending on when you see the replay. Well, as everyone joins, and thank you for everyone who joins, I appreciate that. It's a good time for me to at least establish some connection because I don't like too many real life relationships. I don't. Barry J on the check in. Hey, Sam, I'm back from my YouTube break. Amen, Barry. Good to have you back, brother. And in life, take as many breaks as you need to put yourself in a healthy space. That's rule number one always. Self care has got to be top priority. That being said, what I want to talk about tonight is future plans. And then the head explode emoji. Because during the course of your life, as you make future plans, your head is going to want to explode. You're going to feel feelings, emotions of anxiousness, being scared, being nervous, being overwhelmed. A variety of head exploding emotions hit you when you begin to really dig into future plans. And it's almost a never ending cycle because no matter where you get in the journey of life, there's always future plans. And so there's certainly different seasons. I mean, there's a season of your life where you really may be in a bad place and you need to really make some quick decisions to try to get yourself in a better place. But even when you're in a better place, then you always want to refine the process, and that's normal and that's good. But what I'm here to tell you is the way to help that overwhelming, crunching, head exploding feeling when you start to visualize your future plans is to remember to enjoy the journey. Take one day at a time. And during the course of you planning out your future, don't neglect the present. And that's a discipline for all of us that we need to be mindful of. Spend time with quality loved ones today. Do the things you love today. While you plan for the future, while you try to sketch out what your dreams are, remember to also live in the present. Remember that some things are never going to be 100% perfect, and dig into each day and, allow yourself to smile. Force yourself to smile. Force yourself to smile. Because when you're dealing with the future plans, you're in this other dimension. You're in a whole nother dimension that hasn't even existed. And that's fine. It's good to be in another dimension. It's good to be in a place of imagination. But what I'm keying in on tonight in my spirit, can't allow that to happen. It at least alleviates some of the pressure that we put on ourselves. Now, I'm a person of action. You should take action, and hopefully, God willing, can't allow that to happen. It at least alleviates some of the pressure that we put on ourselves. Your life should get better each year. You should make future plans. You should take them serious, and you should break each small steps, and each day take small steps towards your future plans. But during the course of that, that's an overwhelming process. You have to remember to enjoy each day. You have to remember to take life one day at a time. And you have to remember to just keep showing up to the things in life that, keep you, just show up. Show up to, I want to say that show up. It's Sunday too. As I make this, I think about, Monday's an overwhelming day. Sunday night is an overwhelming moment. You think about Sunday fun day, but Monday is like doomsday. For a lot of us, myself included, still working a full-time job, it can be overwhelming to have to deal with that emotion of showing up for tomorrow at work, and you're still trying to determine your future plans for your own personal life. So I'll wrap up on this because I try to keep my structured topic. I try to knock it out in the beginning. I don't need to mind fuck it. I don't need to drag it out. When you have future plans, you're going to have the head explosion emoji. Remember to take life one day at a time. Remember to enjoy the journey. Do things each day that are enjoyable to you. Make a plan, be flexible in your mind to change and adjust that, and allow yourself to smile, because guess what? It's never going to be perfect. And you're always going to have something else to plan for. And don't be a tight ass your entire life, planning this future dimension that, you'll never walk into. And so that's what I want to share. That's the core of it. I'm not going to drag it out. That being said, let me go to live comments. First, I'm going to roll down my windows and drink a little bit of my cold spring water. And I'm going to read some live comments. Chevy Life, what's up, Sam? Chevy Life, what's up, brother? Hey, Chevy Life. Yeah, one of the dealerships I passed by today was a Chevy dealership, and I saw a Chevy Spark. I was going to do a video on it, but there was some guy riding my ass in the back, like he was driving his car too close to mine. I didn't want to make a quick turn. I just said, I'll have to do that another day. But shout out to the Chevy Spark. I still got you on the radar, brother. We're going to do a video of the Chevy Spark, put people up on a cheap, efficient car that may work for them. Juan, what's up, Juan? Hello, Sam. How are you? God bless you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. God bless you also, Juan. Yeah, overall, I feel good. Like I say, it's for me right now as I make this video, it's Sunday night, so I got to go to work tomorrow. I'm thankful for my job. It's a blessing. But yeah, I kind of want to just own all my time, to be honest with you. I want to be able to provide my own income in my own way and own all of my time. But that's not the case. So you have to do what you have to do to get yourself where you want to eventually get. But I'm thankful. I spent time today at the beach. I did something I love. I spent time today, saw a loved one. So I'm thankful. Why make my future plans, and I still go back and forth in my mind a little bit about a home base. I haven't reached a decision with that yet, and I'm in no rush. That's the other thing about your future plans. Like I say, sometimes when you're really in a miserable state, you have to put a fire under your ass. But when you've also made a lot of progress, where I feel I'm personally at for the goals I had for my own life, you also have to learn that I'm not in a rush. And you want to be aggressive in life. You don't want to be passive, but you don't want to be too aggressive. Because when you make decisions just for the sake of making decisions, that's when, you usually go the wrong route. So, once you get to a certain level of where you want to be in life, you have to, ease your foot a little bit off the pedal and let it come to you. Don't force it. Anytime you try to force a piece of the puzzle to work, it usually ain't going to end up good. So these are the thoughts that I think of as you ask me, how am I? I'm giving you the honest answer. How are you? You tell me, Juan, how's your life going? Sally from Yuma, sunglass face emoji, and she gave me the thumbs up emoji. Shout out to Yuma, Arizona. There's a excessive heat warning in Yuma. Well, in Arizona. I don't know about Yuma. But that's a good thing. Why? I like it hot. But now, and I don't even know. Well, you tell me, Sally, how is it in Arizona? Because I've never been in the West with no humidity. I mean, I wouldn't think it's as hot as Florida, because Florida, when it's 90 with humidity, I mean, it feels over 100. If it's 100 in Arizona with no humidity, I don't know. How bad is it for you? That's a personal question. Like everyone would answer a difference. But I'm curious, Sally, how do you feel in Yuma? What was the temperature today? How do you feel about it? Jennifer M. Hey, Sammy. Jennifer M. coming in hot. What's up, Jennifer? How's the leg? How's your life? And how you feeling? Mike Cruz. What's up, Mike? Thoughts on minivans? For some people, they work. We have a guy in here, Robert, a.k.a. we call him Traveling Man. He has a van. He lives in the Treasure Coast of Florida, and he camps at times out of his minivan. Also, in the beginning of my channel, I met a guy that he lived full-time in Georgia out of his minivan. I don't know if he's still part of his channel. My thoughts are, for me personally, I wouldn't get one because they just don't inspire me. I would rather get a cargo van. But I even leer away from cargo vans because there's not enough. The drive of a van, whether it's a minivan or cargo van, is different than a drive of a car or SUV. I spend a lot of time driving. That's part of my enjoyment of living on the road. I like driving by the coast with my windows down, my sunroof down, letting all the sunlight in, having the beach by me. And that's enjoyable. I don't enjoy, I drove a van, not a minivan, but cargo van. I know what a minivan feels like. I don't enjoy the drive of them, but certainly from let go of that memory of that girl. I thought of you today, and I know how it is, brother. Let go of that memory and just keep moving forward just a little bit over it, and then all of a sudden a wave of emotions, a wave of grief comes over us. Gotta keep going forward and never go back. Never go back. Love to you, Chris. Jenny. Hey, Sam. I'm shooting for more work. Filling my hobby time since I'm single. I like that. Gotta get out of debt while I'm with that. And gotta shoot for the moon. Amen. Good job. Sunglass face emoji. Shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you're amongst the stars. And the number one financial thing you should do is not an investment, it's get out of debt. Getting out of debt is the first step of financial freedom, not investments. Okay, to some extent. So totally agree with that. And like I said, there's sometimes in life to obtain future goals, you got to really put your pedal to the metal. And then when you get to a certain point, you can take your foot off the pedal and you can coast. But I totally understand that. So keep pushing forward. That's a great goal. And I'm glad you have that mindset. Good job, Jennifer. So what the heck happened with the weather? It only got 88 in South Carolina. I've been cold all afternoon. See, I told you it's too cold. Sunshine, but was not hot as I prefer. Well, me and you on the same page, Jennifer M. You got to be sweating, hot, etc. But I did a video today about that, for me, there's a Nomad channel, one famous one, and then a couple others that basically say their whole purpose of living on the road is to chase 70-degree weather. They travel around the United States of America because they try to maintain, on average, 70-degree weather. For me, that's too cold. It needs to be at least in the 80s, if not 90s, and hot and sunny. But the only part I like it cool is at night. So at night I would like it to go into the 60s, even 50s wouldn't be a problem. But that's only in the winter, and definitely in Florida, and only in the winter. But for me, that's what I like. Everyone's different though. I mean, some people like it cold. They should do them. I'm not trying to tell you should, like it hot if you don't like it hot. But what I'm here to break the myth is that if you like it hot, fucking turn that heat up. And when I say the heat, I mean the sun, and I mean the hot sweatiness. I love being outside sweating, drenching. I love it. Some people don't. I mean, that's fine. But, throughout my life, all I've heard is people like negatively talk about hot weather, and they don't want to sweat and they don't want to be outside. I want to. So I want to break that myth. I want to shatter that myth that, we should only be chasing 70-degree weather. Now, if you want to, then do you, 70. But I want to be chasing 80, 90-degree. I want endless summer, hot, sweaty. At night, it could be cool, but that's how I like it. Okay? Love and respect. Eric. What's up, Eric? 1978. 107 here in Vegas. That's what I'm talking about. Put your head in an oven. That's about right. Eric, me and you on the same page. Now, but Eric, let me ask you again, because now Vegas is like Arizona's on the West Coast, so there's very low humidity. In your opinion, I've never been to the West Coast, Eric. In your opinion, have you ever been to Florida? And do you feel it's hotter, even though it's 170 in Vegas, but there's probably little to no humidity? So what's your take on that? Is it still too hot when there's no humidity? What's your perspective? Jennifer M. Good, and cold. It's chilly here today. And then you get the laugh emoji. The one lines. How do you work from home? I don't work from home. I work from wherever there's internet. And wherever there's internet, there's my home. On occasion, like tomorrow, I actually have to go into an office. For 20 years, I worked in the same industry, basically. For the past 10 years, I worked for the same company. I went to the office 4 to 5 days a week. So just in the past 2 months, I transferred internally with the same company I've been with for 10 years to a remote position, meaning I can work anywhere where there's internet. But for the first year and change, part of my job is to go around to different buildings that my company owns and audit them to collect data, because we need that data for the work that we do remotely. So tomorrow is going to be one of those days where I actually have to go into an office. But for the majority of the time, it's just basically wherever there's internet. Starbucks is the main one. Wherever there's internet, when you're doing engineering and when you're doing like a capacity management, what you're doing is you're getting data. You take data, you develop drawings and you develop calculations, and then you place certain things in that area. That doesn't require you to physically be there in most cases. The only reason I have to physically be at certain cases now is there's no data. And so we have to actually go and collect data. But once you have data, you're basically just engineering a solution through software, through drawings, through power calculations. And then working with, whether we work with sales or whether we work with management to, make deals happen for managing different infrastructure capacity. So it's all part of like engineering things. Uh, that answers that. But there's different ways to work from home. I mean, I saw one person living out of their car on YouTube. I mean, I'm sure they're not making big money, but they work customer service, and they live out of their car and they go to Starbucks during the day, and basically what they do is they answer emails. People have complaints against a certain company. They outsource them to a private firm, and she answers the emails, like on behalf of the company. So you can do anything from customer service to sales to engineering to a variety of things remotely. Most things people do is on the internet in this era, but there's still, some things you can't do, but that gives you perspective. Chris. Jennifer M. I live in Georgia, and actually it felt like fall early this morning. It was a cool morning in some parts. Nicholas, Rick. Sup, brother? What's going on you, Nick? What you been up to? Just living the dream, thankful. Good to see you up and running. God bless. Thank you. Overall, just been doing my thing. Waking up early every morning, working, and then when I'm off by the beach, making videos, spending time with loved ones, walking, listening to music. The same thing. The only thing new is I'm just mulling over, my future plans, and do I want to get a home base? Is it worth it? There's give and take. I kind of now, I know where I want to be for most of the time. I'm still traveling a little bit with my job. I just haven't mentally accepted that I'm willing to commit to anything again. And so but that's kind of it. That's kind of what I've been up to. What have you been up to? Ralph. What's up, Ralph? Hello, Sam, from beautiful coastal Mendocino, California. Good to see you. What's up, Ralph? You help keep me grounded in reality. Well, Ralph, I appreciate that. You help keep me positive. Very positive, brother, and I appreciate you, Ralph. Love and respect to that part of California. Is that South or North California? I've never heard of that town. I like that it's by the coast. I like the beach. Mike, but do you prefer SUVs versus minivans in your opinion? Yes, in my opinion, I prefer them. I drive one. I live in one. So in my opinion, I do. But I do acknowledge that there may be more common in Florida eventually. But I don't have a problem like what I need. I don't want to shower in. I don't want to shower at level. I'm never going back to a house. But that's for me. That's where I'm at in my journey. A year and a half living out of my car. Anymore. So I've accomplished that. I wanted to eventually get a remote position. I've just recently accomplished that. That's still settling in. Phase 3 will probably be, niching out some type of home base, maybe. And just go to campgrounds. In one sense, I say, look, in practicality terms, I'll probably be on the road more than I'll be at the home base, and then does it make sense? I don't know. When you're older, or if God forbid you get hurt, then yeah, home base pays off a little bit. But like I say, even the guy I watch on YouTube that inspired me, he's 73, almost going to be 73. He has a home base, but he's been there maybe 4 or 5 months out of the year. So, he's not even there really most of the year. He goes back to recharge, which I understand, and then he's off again. But he likes that. It's worth it for him, and it may be worth it for me too. There is some value in going back to a certain area to kind of recharge. So we'll see. Jennifer M. Crossroads Chris. Same here. This morning felt like fall. Yep. I'm with you guys. Nicholas got a message from a married ex. In the discussion, she's telling me now she's happy with her new boo, her house, but mentions nothing about her husband. Wonder if she would have treated me the same. She wouldn't have. She shouldn't even be texting you, in my opinion. Reaching out to you. You shouldn't even have contact with her unless there's a child between you both and you need to have cordial conversation. Because, that, in my opinion, it's my opinion now, you should do whatever you want. In my opinion, once your relationship is over, let it completely die. Don't let it linger in your life. Because one of the most unhealthy people that I've seen with regards to relationships, they invite their ex-husband, their ex-wife, they invite them to Christmas holidays. They invite them to different events. What the hell? And that's why. And then they end up right back in unhealthy relationships. They do. But why? Because they have developed a pattern and a habit of keeping dead relationships in their life. And the longer you let a relationship that's gone, that's in your life, the longer you'll never heal. And that's like, to me, in my opinion, what she just did was emotional manipulation. She doesn't she doesn't want you, but she wants you on the hook a little bit just in case she wants somebody to talk to. She wants you to be her emotional tampon. That's what she wants. Did a girl once want me to be her emotional tampon? Yeah. What did I do? I said, get the fuck out of here. I'm done. I'm done. I ain't been doing that game. What are you, crazy? No, not gonna happen. Okay. Big Chief. Hey, a cat put up a Honda Element today on a local Facebook page. Thinking about going to look at it. Yeah, Honda Mints are cool. They're very similar in a little bit style to Jeep Renegade. The only thing I don't like about them, they've been discontinued. So to get parts to work on them, and it's going to be used, that may be a negative. I'm not, and also my personal preference is I don't like to buy used. I understand you get them cheaper, but you get them cheaper for a reason. Yes, you don't have the biggest depreciation, but there's a reason that it's cheaper. It's a reason it's depreciated is because it's a higher liability. It's more beat up. You don't just get something for cheap because it's old. There's a reason it's cheaper because it's more of a liability. That's why I would, my opinion, do what you want. I support you no matter what. I wouldn't even go fucking see it. I wouldn't. For me, look, especially if you're gonna full time live out of the road, in my opinion, buy new because that's your only thing that you have an expense, a major fixed expense. So yeah, it's a depreciating asset, but just buy new. I mean, stay under 30,000 for most people, but look, you don't get anything for free in this world. So my opinion, just get a small, brand new, like I showed you, if you wanted it, like a little Nissan, anything major. But that's my opinion. Everyone should do what they want. Nicholas, BMW, BMW. I got you. Yeah, she's basically trying to just like, you know what I'm saying? She's just emotionally manipulating you. Same thing she was doing when you were together. My opinion, change your number. Unless you have children with her, brother, change your number and never give it to her. And never give it to her. And if you don't have kids with her and you don't do that, then you're not serious about moving on with your life. If you don't have kids with her, and if you don't change your number and never speak to her again, you're not serious about going forward. That's my opinion. That's a little rough, but that's my opinion. That's what I've seen in real life. You got to go forward. You got to move on with your life. She shouldn't even know your number. Not at all. Mike Cruz, inspirational Nomad. I live in shout out to Jacksonville. Yeah, man. Yeah, St. Augustine, I like that. And then I just go travels. I love the East Coast of Florida. Love it. Love and respect. St. John. Hello, Sammy. Living the dream. That's what I'm talking about. In New Jersey. Currently, much love. St. John going forward. I ain't mad at that. Gave me a lot of palm tree emojis. St. John out there doing it big. The weather is cool but comfortable in New Jersey for the next few days. It is sunny. So that's the part that, look, I'm going to be honest with you now. In the summer, New Jersey has one upper hand on Florida. There's no rain. There's not the level of rain. That's the big negative about Florida in the summer. During the course of the day, just about each day for an hour or so, it rains and it's constantly wet. So in New Jersey in the summer, it's pretty much I looked at the 10-day forecast in New Jersey. It's pretty much 80 degrees sunny clear for the next 10 days. So July and August are good months to be in New Jersey. But the bad part is the Jersey Shore is packed, and there's parking and driving on Jersey Shore is a train wreck. So it's a give and take. Mike, if you ever come to Jacksonville, Florida, it would be awesome to meet you. Well, I appreciate that, Mike. Love and respect, brother. Thank you. Crossroads Chris. Mike, I spent every summer at Sumara Beach. I know I didn't pronounce that right, but I know what you're talking about, but I've never been there. My father passed in 2008, and my mother had to sell a condo. My goal is to live there one day. That's what I'm talking about, good memories. I ain't mad at that. Nick, think you mentioned you're Italian. Yep, 100% Italian. I'm getting my folks to retire in Calabria. I don't know that. I've never been to Italy. From what I've been told through my family history, half Sicilian, half in Naples. Those are two parts of Italy. But I'm not familiar with Italy. I have never been there. And to be honest with you, I really don't have a desire to go there. 3-bedroom villa on the Mediterranean Sea. That sounds good. Line in $300K. Ever thought of heading to the motherland? No, I haven't. Florida is the motherland for me. Florida is the promised land for me. Italy is not better than Florida for me. But I love and respect Italy. I mean, I'm from there. But I'm really, I was born in America. My grandparents from Italy. They migrated over. But now Italy ain't got nothing on. Florida ain't got. Italy ain't got nothing on Florida. There's not Starbucks in Florida. There's not hot, MILFs. Southeast Florida. There's nothing like Southeast Florida, man. I mean, most of Italy, from my understanding and from people I met, it's all country land. It's all country land. I don't want to be in a country, and I don't want to be around where there's no Starbucks and there's people talking different language. Not for me. But that's just my opinion. But shout out to my Jeep Renegade that was made mostly in Italy. Ralph, North Coast, redwoods, organic, foggy, cool, best to you. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Okay, so north. So the spot you're at is North California. Okay, love and respect. Poker Pro 86. What's up, man? How do you make your thumbnails for your channel? Great question. I recently started doing them a few months ago. I just looked. I have an Android. I have a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Before this, I had 8 Plus. Same thing. Either way, in your Android store, Play Store, Google YouTube Thumbnail Maker. I believe it's just called, I don't know if it's YouTube Thumbnail Maker or just the app is called Thumbnail Maker. And it's an app on my Android phone that I got in the Play Store for free, and just play with it. And it's great. All you have to do is take a picture, upload. I do all my thumbnails from my phone. I know sometimes the thumbnails are better than the videos, but the thumbnails really do matter. Just like the cover of the book. But yeah, check it out. Go to your Play Store if you have an Android. Just download for free a Thumbnail Maker. I believe that's all it's called, Thumbnail Maker. And just play with it and figure it out. Mike Cruz, Crossroads Chris, is awesome. Great beach. I bought a house near Jacksonville after I graduated from UNF. When I was, I think in the fall last year, I was in the Jacksonville area for a while. I went to Jacksonville Beach. I was a little disappointed in Jacksonville Beach. There's some bars there. The beach wasn't that nice. It was mainly just bars. There was a Publix there and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I went. It just wasn't for me. But love and respect to Jacksonville. Crossroads Chris. I love Jacksonville Beach. See, we disagree on that, but that's okay. And Florida. Well, I love Florida. Peace. Love and respect. Nicholas. I always try to end this with a positive goodbye. Thank you. But the female contacts me after a year of marriage. Yeah, that's negative. I just want not to have the negative emotions haunting me. I agree with that. Just want her gone. Well, brother, this is what you got to do. If you don't have kids with her, change your number and she should never get it again. She shouldn't even know someone that has your number. Now, that's my opinion. That's what I do in real life. You got to go forward with your life. You can't have her texting you about shit like that. She's using you as an emotional tampon. You don't need that in your life, brother. Juan, thanks. And then he gave a beach emoji and then the wink emoji. I live in Georgia, but thinking about moving to Dallas, Texas. A lot of work in Dallas right now. Dallas economy is booming for work. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. But I can't make up my mind. Laugh out loud. I love Georgia weather and all. I feel Dallas, Texas is overcrowded, traffic, etc. Well, Dallas, yeah, but sure, there's a lot of suburbs. But you have to go to Dallas and you have to think about, obviously, no matter what you do in life, you need income. So you have to have some type of job or you have to live off some type of money you've made. But you also should live where you want to live. Look, at some point, if I didn't get an internal transfer, would I have went to Florida and took less pay? Probably I would have. I wasn't going to stay in New Jersey. So I didn't want to do that, but, that was an option. So my opinion is, obviously you got to have some type of income and you should do something that you kind of like, but then live where you want to live, because life goes by and you don't want to spend your whole life not living where you want to live just to make money. Now, look, we need money, so I'm not against that. And if it takes time to transition, do that, but just something to consider. Cruz, Crossroads Chris, have a good Sunday evening. Joshua, I love your videos, really inspirational. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. Love and respect to you. Jennifer M. If you do have kids with an ex, invest in a separate phone. Well, that's a good suggestion. And line designated for communications. Yeah, it's like the North Korea line. I agree with that. Between you and the child's ex, that way there's no confusion on moving on with your life. Well, that's not a bad idea, actually. Not bad. Good job, Jennifer. Crossroads Chris. Dude, no wonder I like you. You remind me of my best friend that moved to New York last year. He is Italian, and you guys have very similar personality. Love and respect. Marin, from the west coast of Florida. But it's the west coast, yeah. There's some work. There was actually a job. There was an internal job opening a couple years ago in Tampa with my company. The reason I didn't take it was it wasn't where I wanted to be. It didn't I wanted to be full remote. I mean, right now I'm remote, but I still have to do some traveling. But yeah, there's some jobs in Tampa in that St. Pete area. And shout out to you, Marine. Good to see you. And thank you for always checking in. And hey, Ann, I saw your comment. Ann's got a Toyota Prius. I am brand new to your channel. I hope this question doesn't make you angry. Okay, because sometimes I get pissed. But how do you deal with bugs in Florida? Do they bother you? No, they don't. Good question. I love you. Thank you for saying that too. You have a Toyota Prius and they're very reliable. No, why don't they bother me? Because I spend most of my time by the coast. So what you're going to realize when you spend time in Florida, and anywhere, even in New Jersey, is that if you spend time by the coast, and I spend basically time in coastal urban areas. I don't spend time in forests, not a lot. So if you go inland and you go to forests and you go to inland campgrounds and things like that, then bugs live where there's a lot of trees and stuff like behind me. But what I do is I stay by parking lots, by concrete. I stay by coastal beach areas. I don't go into the forest. I don't go into the campgrounds a lot of times. That's how you alleviate that. Now there's a lot of wildlife beyond so I can deal with the bugs because I'm not really entrenched inland. But wherever you are, there is a lot of wildlife. So I've been to some of them. Bugs will eat you up. I know a guy that went camping in the state forest a couple months ago, and it was still cold. No, you on him. So, right? Here it is. He went camping in a state forest in New Jersey in in April, and he got a tick. So, Florida is not another world, even though it's magical like another world. You just have to be mindful that it's just the only difference is it's hot all year round for the most part. So there's an environment where more things can grow, and in the winter things don't die off. And certainly the humid, moist rains could cause a problem. But yeah, for me, the way I live now, some people, if they're like living inland, they may have more of a problem than me. But I'm mainly a coastal guy, so it doesn't bother me, and I'm willing to trade off whatever little it does bother me because it's worth it. Andy G, hey Sam, what's up, Andy? Live and let live. Hello, Sam and everyone. I took a 30-minute walk today on the beach. That'll change your life, and it was magical. It never fails. A walk on the beach will change your life. Talk about your head exploding from future plans. What should you do? Go for a walk. We're all packed in a car. I wasn't driving, and when I don't drive the car, like I get sick to my stomach. I gotta drive, and we got there. I was disappointed in Virginia Beach. I'm being honest. No disrespect. We got there and there was like a sign on the street, like a Ghostbuster sign, no cursing. I never saw like a no cursing sign. It actually wrote, and Virginia Beach was more or less for families. So I think it was like the wrong environment at that. And there wasn't much to do for me. And it wasn't tropical. Now, no disrespect, 'cause I know I'm sounding disrespectful to Virginia Beach, but this is me sharing my experience based off my opinion. And that's why for me personally, I had to keep going south to Florida. Like, even when I get to South Carolina, even when I get to Georgia, love and respect to both those places, it's not tropical. I gotta see palm trees. I gotta have, Spanish music on. I gotta be in the zone. And I'm not in the zone unless I get to South Florida. Love and respect. Live and let live. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm not mad at that. Happy for you. Crossroads Chris. St. Pete is nice. The I-4 corridor, that's main highway in Florida that basically goes from one coast to the other. It take you right through Orlando. But you got to have the sun pass or else they're going to charge you. Well, they charge you no matter. They'll just send a ticket. They happen to me. They'll send a ticket. If you don't have the sun pass, which is like the Florida version of Easy Pass, if you don't have that, then what they do is they'll take a picture of automatically of your license plate and send you the bill in the mail. That happened to me. It's not illegal to do it. They'll just send you the bill. You are from the I-4 corridor takes you from Tampa to Orlando. Yep. To Daytona Beach. Yep. From one coast to the other. Good job. You can get from the West Coast to the East Coast in a couple hours. Yeah, about 3 hours, especially if there's not traffic. Now I'm thinking about that. I still have my Easy Pass for New Jersey, and that Easy Pass works all the way. It works on the Baltimore tunnel. It works all the way, all the tolls that you'll hit on I-95 from New Jersey to Florida. The Easy Pass. So I like that. So I'll still keep that, but I'm thinking about maybe getting a Sun Pass because I haven't got that yet. But I don't do much going back from. I will start to, but from the East Coast to the West Coast of Florida. I did one video on it over the winter when I went from Miami to Naples, Florida. and I went. I don't know. That wasn't I-4. I think it was I-75. I'm not sure. And that's when they took a picture of my license and they sent me the bill. Marine, heart emoji, and respect. Love and respect to you also. Thank you. And I live on Long Island. Well, shout out to Long Island. I did a couple of girls from Long Island. They had a wild accent, and I found that sexy. And I live inland. Thanks for the tip. My mother grew up in Florida. She left because of the bugs. Yeah, I would be curious. Ask her what part. I don't know if you know what parts, if you know the town, and then we could determine where that's at. And then that's probably the reason why. But it's like everything else, right? It's like everything in life. You have to want something more than the inconvenience. Like some people want a relationship, so they're willing to deal with the inconvenience. I don't. So as soon as there's a problem, I'm out. I want Florida. So even though there's think negative parts of it, whether it's rain in the summer, whether it's hurricane season, but that doesn't affect me as much. Why? Because I mean I live in my car, I'm mobile. I get around that by traveling around. So I'm a little bit odd. You can't compare me to a person in a fixed house per se. So I have to make that exception. But yeah, I'm curious what part. Angelina also from Florida, West Coast. Hey Sam, also in a smaller, more efficient, cheaper apartment. She downsized. What do you think about people who live the road with a baby? Just saw a YouTube video about a couple living in an RV with a newborn. Looks crazy to me. Well, I'm not mad at it if one person, because to me nothing is different between an RV and a house. Especially if there's a lot of people that just park their RV. They're not constantly, even if you constantly travel. I mean, as long as you're not going to remote areas and camping where you're like 2 hours away from civilization, there's no difference between a house. And as long as one person is staying to watch the baby, I don't have a problem with that. I think that may be healthier for some families, that really get along with each other. So I'm not mad at that as long as they're doing it responsibly. That actually doesn't upset me too much because a RV has full hookups. You have air conditioning, you have heating, you have plumbing. So like I would be against that if they were living in a Jeep Renegade because there's not amenities. I mean, I sacrifice for living like this, believe me. So I wouldn't have a problem with somebody with an RV. The same thing as a small house. So I'm not mad at that. Good question though. Thank you for bringing that up. Start back. Stay hydrated, Sammy. Thank you. I got excited. Palm tree emoji. Thank you, Start back. And I don't mind lizards. They're pretty wild. When I first saw them, I was like, oh my gosh, it's pretty wild. I love birds. You're going to see a lot of birds. It's those huge cockroaches, the palmettos or whatever they call them, that I hate. And of course, the ticks and mosquitoes. Well, like I said, I have a friend that just camped in New Jersey a couple months ago. He got a tick on him. A lot of ticks in New Jersey. Um, but mosquitoes, I mean, mosquitoes are in New Jersey too. Mosquitoes are, again, anywhere where you have a lot of trees and things like that. Mosquitoes are something you should be mindful of because more people die of mosquitoes than sharks. Now, I knew one person, like, they didn't want to move to Florida because of sharks. I said, come on. But now mosquitoes are real because mosquitoes kill a lot of people. But hold on now. Mosquitoes kill mainly people overseas in undeveloped lands, like from malaria or whatever, different diseases like that. There's a whole host of reasons why they end up dying from a mosquito bite. It's because of the conditions of the country. And Florida, look, at times there's different things that happen with mosquitoes and they carry viruses. But for the most part, I mean, don't forget, Florida has been around just as long as just about every other state, and people have lived there for long periods of time and, it's not an issue. So, but again, you'd have key, right? So if you don't want it, if you really don't want to move to Florida and you're just going there because your boyfriend or girlfriend, you're going to hate Florida. I've had people I know that happened in real life. Their spouse didn't want to move to Florida, and they did. They went to Florida. It was a disaster. They stayed there for a year, and the spouse says, "I'm out of here. We got to go back up north. I don't want to here. I don't want to stay here. I miss my family. It's too hot." Blah, blah, blah. So people you have to want to do something. If you don't want to do something, you shouldn't do it because eventually you're going to resent it, and you're going to end up going back to wherever you're at. That's always the key. You got to be mindful of that. Andy G wanted to share on my road to recovery, praise the Lord, and trying to keep doing the right next thing. Good. I keep being blessed. Good. My daughter who lives down south is coming home to stay with me for 2 weeks this month. Well, I'm not mad at that. Andy G, keep going forward, brother. One day at a time. I talked about how do you avoid your head exploding emoji with future plans. the same way you do with dealing with recovery, addiction, heartache, anything, aggravation of life, knowing that tomorrow's Monday and you have to go to work, is you take life one day at a time. You breathe, go for a walk, take life one day at a time. And just watch 10 of your videos. Love them. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Now, at some point, you may not love them. You know, like 90% of people that are here today weren't here 9 months ago, and I'm sure that'll change. So me in 9 days or 9 minutes from now, you can just go do your thing. I would love for you to stay the long journey, but I know how life is. I'm like that myself too. There's only a couple people that, so that's part of life. But thank you for the compliment, and I appreciate that. To see you along the journey. Crossroads Chris, a big tip to wear in the evening. By the way, has anyone tried mosquito patches? I have not. Mike Cruz, why not use bug screens on your windows at night? I haven't had an issue with it because I really have an issue with bugs. Why? Because again, I'm mainly in concrete parking lots or driveways, or when I do go to campgrounds, there's certain campgrounds that I choose that have basically just like RV slabs for tent camping, and they're away from the forest. Now, sometimes I can't avoid that. So, but for the most part, majority of my time, I'm in parking lots. And when you're in a parking lot, it hasn't been an issue for me. And I've been up and down the coast of America. I haven't had an issue anywhere if I went. Now, but in rest stops, truck stops, Walmarts, Lowe's, Home Depots, when they allow it. Some campgrounds are my biggest problem. If there's a campground that's really just surrounded by trees and stuff, that's my biggest problem. But I don't spend that much time in them. And that's kind of, a lot of time in campgrounds. I would say, yeah, you should get some netting. I would agree with that. And I'm a beach guy. I'm not a forest guy. Annie G. Been a year since we saw each other. So excited. I'm happy for you. Life keeps getting better. Well, I like that. St. Augustine, you're going to be very impressed. I mean, I did some videos from there. You saw it. You're going to be scared because you haven't sailed long in a while. It's going to be some bumps in the road. You have time of your life. Of course, you're going at the right time of year. I mean, you're leaving in October. You get down there in October, November. You're going to be down there for 8-9 months. And then if you go to the Caribbean, do what you want. It's going to be magical, man. It's going to change your life, brother, in my opinion. Dylan, hey, I hope you're doing good. Thank you. I hope you're doing good. Same to you. Anna A. Miami. Okay, well, now, see, the thing with Miami. Miami is just like New York, right? So a lot of times when people say New York, they think of Manhattan. But New York can be upstate New York. Okay, big difference. A lot of times when people say Miami, they think of Miami Beach. They think of South Beach. Like LeBron James said when he went to the Miami Heat, I'm taking my talents to South Beach. But the Miami Stadium is not in South Beach. There's away from the city, you can be in Miami and you can be in different towns that are, just like a regular suburban town. Downtown beach area. So that's the difference. And that's, but those bugs are real. But that's what I'm saying. Like, as you get from, they're even at the coast. I'm not gonna lie to you, but they would freak out. Look, there's a lot of wildlife, including bugs. I can't say there isn't. So, you have to accept that. If you don't accept that, there's not like there's no bugs in Long Island. I've been to Long Island. There's bugs in Long Island. Now, but the thing is, right, in my opinion, what I found is 90% of society spends 90% of their time in their house. So, it's like, that's why they're freaked out by bugs, because they spend most of their time indoors. So if you're going to get into the nomadic life, even if you get centipedes, now there's bigger bugs in Florida, that's fair, but nothing's going to kill you for the most part. But again, well, these are all things you should consider. It's good that you're talking about this, and then you have to figure out what you want. And like me, I would recommend you go down there and explore, because Florida has many different feels. Like the East Coast has a feel, the West Coast has a feel, the Northern Panhandle has a different feel, and the middle of Orlando, the middle of Florida, like Orlando, they all have different feels, totally different. Like you on the East Coast, Southeast, is real like Caribbean vibe almost. North Florida is more country. Middle of Florida you can see horses everywhere. West Coast is more laid back. The energy isn't there like from the Atlantic Ocean. They all have different feels, and you really got to explore and see what works for you. But what I found is if you want tropical feel, you gotta get southeast. In my view, live and let live. I try to avoid, but here's the thing: like she was in Miami. Once you get below Boca Raton, it gets very crowded. Okay, so if you didn't like crowds, you don't want to go below South Boca Raton. You want to stay north of that. But that's where all the jobs are. A lot of jobs are in Miami, but once you go south of Boca, that's when there's a lot of traffic. And that's when you're dealing with a lot of congestion. So you have to figure out that too. What type of person are you? I mean, you live in Long Island, so you know what it is. Live and let live. I try to avoid Virginia Beach because of the tourism. And we are in peak season. Yep, you are. There are several beaches here I usually walk on. Well, that's fair. See, I've never explored Virginia enough. I usually walk on a less congested beach. That's Wisdom, laugh out loud. On the non-cussing sign. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Angelina. The bugs don't bother me. Here's a Floridian been longer than me. The bugs don't bother me. The snakes freak me out. Well, that's fair. The snakes would freak me out too. I haven't seen any yet, thank God. But I remember I did a video. I was walking in, I don't know, what is it, Princess Preserve in Florida. I forgot what town that was in. But I was walking in the grass. I did a video on it, and somebody from Florida said, Sam, just be careful walking that grass. You don't get bit by a snake. And I didn't even think about that. I mean, but there were snakes in Jersey. I mean, not to the extent of Florida, not to the extent. But I remember growing up in a house, and there was a snake. We saw snakes in our yard. So again, it's like, it's not another world, Florida. But there is no doubt about more wildlife. There is more wildlife, no doubt about it. Jenny from the block, a.k.a. got a house on the market. I used to have a house in North Belmar. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's Long Island must be. At Ann. And I live in Florida now. And she's selling her house now. I miss having grass that's soft and doesn't bite. Well, welcome back. You can have it all you want. And it's only going to be nice, soft grass in the summertime. Because in the winter, it's going to be a disaster. You're going to have nice, soft snow to freeze your ass off. I'm not with you. I love you, Jenny, though. At Jennifer M. Thanks for the info. I really want to try Kite brand mosquito patch. There are other brands at Walmart too. They are a bit pricey and wanted to know firsthand before I tried them out. Amen. Mississippi Dippity. Hey Sam. Hey Mississippi Dippity. How are you? Neil. What's up, Neil? Neil Sal. Hey Sam. Everyone. Hey Neil. Good to see you. Mississippi Dippity. Hey Chris. You changed your picture. You're so handsome, sir. Somebody give the heart face eye emoji. And I have been watching Nomadic Fanatic and Cheap RV Living for years. Love them both. I like them for the different things they can provide at times. Sometimes Bob Wells get me frustrated. Same thing with Nomadic Fanatic, but I'm sure people get frustrated with me, so that's fair. Jenny from the block. It's pulsing and pluses and minuses. That's true. Everything does. Like everywhere else, that's true. I always say my heart is in New York. Well, you should go where your heart is. I agree with that. But my soul's in Florida. Oh, well, if your soul's in Florida, don't sell your soul for your heart. But do what you want. Do what you want. I was born here and adopted to a family in NYC. Great place to grow up. Wouldn't want to move back though. All right, me and you on the same page again because we lost each other for a minute. Now we're on the same page again. Okay, Chris Crossroads Chris, Miss Serendipity Wonders. Hey yo, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, you can live off a compliment for years. That's very exciting. I changed my profile picture back, but area. And I remember I was at Melbourne Beach, and there was an older lady on the beach. Well, not older lady. She was actually middle-aged. And I was asking her about the area. I said, what do you think about, this area? And what do you think about Florida? And how is it in the summer? How is it in the different seasons? And she was basically saying, look, she grew up here basically her whole life. She loved it. And she goes, the only thing I would tell you is, she said, I have no regrets. I love Florida. She goes, the only thing I would tell you is there's a big difference between living on the island of Melbourne Beach, living on the coast versus living inland. And she goes, she remembers somebody telling her that one time and she didn't realize what a big difference it was. And it is a big difference. So on the coastal areas of Florida, there's certain towns that are like islands and they have bridges that cross them over. And there's a huge difference in a feeling when you're on that island versus the one you go inland. And it's a whole different environment. So that's something to be mindful of as you search. Miss Serendipity, I got you, yo. N.A. My mom lived in Dade County. Yep, that's Miami, okay? Area. N.A., gotcha. N.A. A lot of bugs here. Yep, see, there you go. Long Island. And you don't even have tropical weather. You got all that traffic. I want to throw up. I'm used to these bugs, though. I understand. We get used to it. But whatever we get used to, we want to go back to. Look at the Israelites. They didn't want to go to the promised land. A lot of them wanted to go back to Egypt, even though they were slaves there. Why? Because we get used to what we get used to. Gotta be very careful. But if you want to stay there, I would say stay there. Do what you want. Not looking forward to the new ones. Haha. I understand that. Yeah, it's scary to see new stuff. I live in the woods. Oh, well, if you live in the woods, then you know what it is with bugs. I don't live in the woods. But love and respect. I know a lot of people like the woods. Jenny from the block. Don't worry. The roaches have no problem whatsoever invading the car. They just fly in through the windows. It's a whole new world in Florida, bug-wise. Well, depending on where you live. Now, Jenny B basically lives in the boondocks right now in North Florida, in the middle of like country land. That's not me, okay? I'm down by the beach. Right now, can they still fly in? They can still fly in. But Jenny B is a little bit more country, okay? Anna, hey Anna, my downstairs bathroom has been flooded by a broken pipe. I'm sorry to hear that. I had to happen when we were children, when I was a kid growing up in my house. This makes me want to get on the road. Well, I understand that, and forget about the responsibilities. I understand that. I am a single woman renting. Well, at least you were renting. I guess the landlord has to fix it. My youngest is going to be 12. Well, 6 more years. But now, look, if you wanted to get on the road with your kid, I'm not against that. If you can do it responsibly and maintain an income. Guys and girls and everyone out there is that it took me years, like some of you know, it took me years to reposition my life. But how did it start? I started taking trips. I knew I wasn't happy where I was. That's how it starts. When you know you're not happy where you are, then you have to start researching. You have to start taking trips, and you have to start figure out what you have to do to get your life back to a happy place. And then you have to start making decisions to put yourself there. Small decisions. It may take years. It took me a couple years to reposition my life. But I took a trip to Florida, put my house on the market. The first step to downsizing is liquidate, is to, you know, now if you're leasing, then obviously you can move when the lease is up. But, could you live full time in a car, with a child? Not with a 12-year-old kid. You'd have to have an RV. And then you'd have to realize that some RV living could be more expensive than apartment living. Now, to be honest with you, I live in a car, but I already gave you my monthly budget is like $2,500 to $3,000 a month. There's plenty of people that can live in a cheap apartment cheaper than me. So, but I'm in this also for the mental freedom. So you have to take everything in the account. And hey, ticks and spiders, but they don't bother you. I hate ticks and spiders. I understand that. Jenny B. I live in country right now too. Yeah, see, I knew that. I've Black Widow on my porch railing right now. This I won't miss. Well, you gotta stay by the beach. And that is what I'm afraid of, Jenny B. Well, not, hold on now. See, Jenny B's, she's not Southeast Florida. Jenny B's Northeast Countryland, totally different environment. That's why I say you gotta visit Florida, totally different. And hey, I hate crows. I don't know what that is. I want to leave her for that reason. Crossroads Chris. Oh, that must be the channel that you guys are talking about. I've never seen that channel. Crossroads Chris. Some people that haven't lived here, I'm sorry. Some people that haven't lived where I live for long get freaked out by big roaches, aka palmetto bugs. Yep. And shout out to South Carolina, our guy Tom, aka BVT. Isn't that the state logo of South Carolina, or isn't the palmetto bug their like state like insect or something like that? Sound John, if you want tropical, all caps, come by free with me, Sailing John. Sailing John, ain't no bugs on the ocean. Well, there's some, but not that many. Jennifer M. Crossroads Chris. Bugs, aka known as South Carolina State Bird. Yep, see, I knew something like that. And A. Wildlife is cool. Bugs are yucky. Well, I totally agree with that. Jay Brown Jr. What's up, man? Hey, Sam, have a good day. Hope you had a good day. I did. I hope you had a good day, brother. Thank you. Live and let live. Hey, Neil. Good to see you. Laugh my ass off. Crossroads Chris. I killed a copperhead the other day. It was under my lawnmower deck. Oof. Oh, somebody give me a throw up emoji, especially just mowing lawn. Throw up emoji. When I pulled it out of the shed, I would have left it alone, but I have a dog. Well, I understand that. I'm glad you killed it. Good job. And hey, not that I want something to die, but you know what I mean. What does Bob Wells get on your nerves? Because he claims that he's helping old. Now he's basically setting up a charity and he's collecting money on his Amazon link for himself. He manipulates older women. He plays to the crowd. He's a history of divorce. So he's not as compassionate as people think. I feel he gives good information. He gives encouragement, but I also feel he's an ego guy and he's manipulating people. He's making money. There's nothing wrong with making money off YouTube, but now he's got people clicking. He's selling merchandise. He's already acknowledged that most of his viewers are not good financially. So if you know your viewers aren't good financially, why are you starting to basically solicit merchandise to your viewers who you know they can't afford it? Why are you having them buy things through your Amazon link when you preach minimalism? He had one live feed where he said you shouldn't be buying too much stuff, but if you do buy stuff, click my link so I get a commission or sale. Now he's setting up he wasn't going to set up a nonprofit, but he got a lot of pushback because he was just going to collect donations. Okay. He basically said now you can leave your RV in a will and leave it to him, and he's going to give it to somebody who's destitute. But if you give an RV to somebody and they don't have the money to pay for the insurance or the gas, he's totally lost in how to help society. He should continue to make videos for free. And make money off being monetized. That's fine. That doesn't cost people anything. But stop the Amazon link. Stop selling merchandise. Stop with this phony foundation that you're going to help the destitute. And the RTR is nothing but a promotional tool used to brand him. He's a brand guy. The RTR is an event to brand yourself. That's my opinion. Now, he has done a lot of good things for the movement, but he's an egotistical person who has a history of divorce. Old women love him because he talks soft and kind, but a lot of old women that love him, they're just eating TV dinners and they're never going to live this life. They just like the fact that if they ever did live this life, that somebody talked nice to them, in my opinion. But in reality is, if you're really going to go out there and be on the road, you have to have a different mindset than Bob Wells. Because if you go in the middle of the desert, destitute, with no job, living on free government land in the middle of nowhere, that's not going to improve your life. Bob Wells has diabetes and no health care. How can he lead people? He has diabetes and he pays for no health care, even though now he's making thousands of dollars a month on YouTube. He still doesn't pay for health care. But he wants to tell you about how you get solar. How do you get fucking healthcare, Bob? How do you get your life together, mind, body, and soul? Okay? Because if you decide to live in your van, but you still eat shit and you still have unhealthy relationships, you're going to end up in the middle of the desert with Bob Wells, and you're going to be fucked up, in my opinion. I think he's a snake, in my opinion. I hate to say it. Now you got me upset. I'm sorry. JB. My neighbor killed a rattler the other day. I never seen one of my property, but I'm foolish enough to think they're not there. Anna A, good points. Pat, hey Pat, me too, Anna. Sound job. Check out YouTube. Be free with me. I'm not mad at that. Frank Moody. Sound John got some good music recommendations. I listen to this every day. Started packing. Be free with me. Have a great night. Thank you for reminding me. I gotta check that out. Crossroads Chris. Florida has more flavors than Baskin Robbins, and I like that. See, that's also why I like Florida. Diversity, especially Southeast. Why? Because for me, I like that. It's a southern state that's a melting pot. Like New York, it's a blessing. It's a melting pot, a lot of diversity. So is Southeast Florida, and I like that. But it's also got the like if you go to some southern states, which I've been, there's not a lot of diversity, and I don't like that. For me, my personal opinion preference, I like diversity, and I like rich in culture. That's what I like. And he claims he's going to give his vehicles, etc. Yeah, I know a lot of pastors that claim they're going to give out free Bibles. I had a pastor who would basically solicit 10%. He's going to help the poor. He was having sex. He was having an adultery relationship and using that money to basically just fund his lifestyle. Him and his family were driving nice cars. Paycheck. Most of Bob Wells' viewers are living paycheck to paycheck. Last thing he needs to do is tax the people more. Just make free videos, monetize them, people can hit skip, and fucking that's it, okay? But he doesn't preach mind, body, and soul. He just preaches living cheap. If you live cheap, but you don't take care of your mind, body, and soul, you're going to be fucked up in a desert living cheap. I don't preach that. If anyone watches my videos, I preach mind, body, and soul. Why? Because if I just preach living cheap, you're going to end up in your car, and then you're going to resent the person who told you to do that. Because let me tell you something. Do you think this is all sunshine and roses? Only if you have your life together. If you don't have your life together and you get in a car or RV, your life's going to be fucked up wherever you go. That's my experience. Angelina. I like Bob Wells in the beginning, but recently he has taken on traits of a religious cult leader. I totally agree. Live and let live. Make it a wonderful week, everyone. Love you. Good night. Big brown eyes. Streaming is bad for me tonight. I'm sorry. Forward. Gilbert. Evening all. What's up, Sammy? Evening. BBT. And we're just talking about you. Hey, BBT. Good to see you. And hey, that's true. Crossroads Chris. Hey, Gilbert. BBT. BBT. Hey, Chris. Help mom's getting better. Yes. BBT. Love you. Good to have you. And pray for Chris' mom. That being said, I'm hungry. It's getting late. I got work tomorrow. And I want to go eat skinny popcorn and a salad. Okay? I love everyone. Sada. Good evening. Thank you, everyone. Stay positive as possible. I know this world's a little crazy. And try not to let your head explode emoji. Good night, and good night, everyone.